Oh, man, I hate Mondays.
Nah, man, it's Tuesday.
Wait. What day is it?
You know what day it is. Tuesday. Brewsday Tuesday.
Oh, fuck yeah! It's time for Brewsday Tuesday, brought to you by the Cellar and Six Pack Store. Here's Drez and Big Nate.
That is a lovely pop top that confirms it is Brewsday Tuesday, brought to you by the Cellar Restaurant and Six Pack Store in downtown Blacksburg. Yeah, you're like
I'm way out of focus.
Yeah, I was trying to get it focused on the beer. Of course, if you're watching on the Facebook or the YouTube, you know what I'm. Yeah, we always like to show off our cans, and it's hard to get the can to focus, but then it would be out of focus the whole rest of the time. I think that's probably what happened. It focused on the can up close, and now you're just like super blurry. So sorry to everybody that's watching, but
I'm like Bigfoot. It's okay.
Yeah, there you go. Of course, like I said, if you are watching or listening, you can always catch previous Brewsday Tuesdays. We podcast it and all that, so you can listen to, our last show with me and Nate, the shows with Huck and Nate, with Huck and Drez, dating years and years back. And we started doing the video, obviously, once COVID. So I guess at this point, we have well over a year's worth of video.
Yes, we do.
Brewsday Tuesdays that would be on the YouTube channel, I would believe. So, yeah, multiple ways to listen to us drink beer and talk about beer. So I brought the beer last week. You did the beer run this week. So tell the folks what you found over there at the cellar.
Okay, so I went on over to the cellar, and I walked in with absolutely zero mission. And granted, that's the best way to do a beer run, in my opinion, is if you go in with no preconceived notions. You kind of just wing it and see what you leave with. And I'm immensely proud of what I did here. It seems like out of the beers we're going to try today, I think so far, Drez has only had one or two of them. So leaving with a six-pack, not too bad. My strategy is something worth talking about. We'll move into that, but I do want to start with what I've got. The Collective Arts IPA number 19, triple IPA.
Triple.
With Nelson, Sauvin, Citra, and Azaka hops. And this is no cakewalk of a beer. 10.5% ABV. So,
and I'm trying to remember. So, like Collective Arts, for some reason, I always want to say that they're like a kind of gypsy brewer or collaboration kind of a thing, but it's not. It's the fact that it's the artwork is always done. So, like, I think does it cite the artists? I would imagine on the can of that cool little eye star thing.
It
iSun
very well may. Hold on, let me search the can. I don't see. Yes, Jeremy Gordon out of Sebastian, Florida, did the artwork for this, which just segues beautifully into my strategy with a beer run.
So over here, like I was trying to show it off, that threw a lot of stuff out of focus. Everyday Fog, which is a double dry hopped IPA. So we're back to drinking IPAs on the show. I like it. This is brewed and packaged by Abomination Brewing Company, out of North Haven, Connecticut. Where's Collective Arts? They're not Canadian, are they? They're somewhere up north.
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. Okay. So these guys, Abomination. Now I don't know if I'm super familiar with them, but like a lot of breweries and stuff, at least a lot of the good ones that I'm sure you agree with, they have that kind of metal themed, dark and gnarliness. Now, are you referring to the logo? Or are you talking about just the can in general?
Just the can in general. Like, every time I make a beer run, it's all about the artwork. Because at the end of the day, if you have a good beer, that's great, but the beer isn't necessarily as tangible. If there's a can that I think is mantle-worthy, if you will, I will almost always grab that one. And that's kind of where we ran into with these.
So with that said, it's a very cool, like just simple, nice can. I like it's the flat kind of tone. Everyday Fog. It's got just like a foggy forest on there, man. This is very nice. It is appealing. But yeah, when you're talking about, they always say don't judge a book by its cover, and you kind of think that that's the way you should beer shop. But I have definitely noticed that certain beers with certain styles of cans like this, the silver with like the kind of slap-on label, tend to be good stuff.
I actually have a theory on that, and I kind of talked about it with Huck back in the day, and he really just wanted to drink more beer. But my thought to it is, if you put this much love and care into your product from the label standpoint, surely you're going to have the beer to back it up.
Or, counter argument, you're coming up with a really cool label or like a niche that's going to get people to buy it regardless of how bad the beer is.
Like putting lipstick on a pig?
Exactly.
All
So
right.
that's to me the other argument. Like the other thing that if it's such a novelty label or something, I think that, it's easy to think that they could just be covering up for the quality of the beer. Now, there's particularly one that's very popular around here that comes to mind in that regard, but I don't want to point fingers at certain orange and maroon bottles and cans that the beer isn't that great, but we still drink it. But,
Yes, a well-established branding campaign definitely goes miles. What's your strategy? Like, if you're going out on a beer run, not that this is the case with the cellar, because I have been there before and they've never really steered me wrong. What's your strategy if you're like in a new territory and you're going to a beer store? Like, what do you do?
Well, it's the beer store people are your friends. Particularly, if you pop in there and Mikey's at the cellar, you could just ask him, "Hey, what's new? What's good?" And because that's stuff that's around that you might have had before, which is great, if it's good, if you've come to like it. But what I like to do is try new beers. So usually I always go towards, if they have like a new release section or a seasonal section, stuff that's just not always around. That's kind of where you'd want to look. But yeah, man, a lot of the times the best thing to do is just ask the people that are stocking the shelves. They know what's around. They know if it's, if you're looking for sours, if you're looking for, like I've been on hunt for white chocolate beers. Any beers that have white chocolate rather than, regular chocolate. You see that a lot. White chocolate, pretty rare. And usually they're pretty damn good. But hard to find. Sometimes it's easier, instead of looking and scourging the entire beer store, you just ask.
I've never even considered white chocolate as a brewing additive, if you will.
I think I've come across 3, and they've all been pretty damn good.
I
don't even really like white chocolate.
Was there one that you like accidentally tried, or were you just trying to be obtuse?
Yeah, I can't remember what it was. I don't know if I could search white chocolate in my and Untapped, and that might be able to help me out or not. But I can't remember what it was. But we had some sort of a beer, and particularly Kirsty liked it, which is rare because she doesn't like a lot of beers. And so after that, we always were just kind of on the hunt for trying to find like a white chocolate beer. And they're very few and far between. Usually they are stout-esque, but they're usually pretty damn good. Like one of them was, I found it, and they did have it over there at the cellar. It's from the brewery, and I wish I could remember the name of it. But anything, this might be a little bit of a foreshadowing, but the brewery does make some amazing, amazing beers. But we can delve into that a little bit probably in the next segment.
So I might need to try and change my strategy, because like I said, it's always labels for me. It's always that, kind of going in with that notion. And I don't know if it's kind of the way I interact with the internet and the world and the people around me. But of course, I've got my go-tos, and I will take no shame for this. One of my absolute go-to domestics will always be Pabst Blue Ribbon, and I think it's just because of the way those cans look.
We share that love, and my love for them was solidified even more so with all the the tweets that they put out for the new year, which were hilarious. If you missed it, I don't know if I can say it on the radio. Can I? I'm quoting it. Maybe I can. Basically, the actual Pabst Blue Ribbon account tweeted out, "Doing dry January this year." Can I say it? I don't know.
Hey, you call the shots, man. I think you should.
It said, they tweeted out, "Doing dry January this year? Try eating ass."
Yep. And if I remember correctly, it was with emojis that they chose to deliver that. And,
No, I think it was just
Was
straight
it?
up written.
Okay.
There might have been a
So maybe
but then they kept replying, which was funny. People were like, "Is this? What are they like? Is this for real?" And they're like, "Yeah, we're talking about." Like, it was. I'm sure somebody probably ended up getting fired for that, but I thought that was absolutely
I don't know.
hilarious.
I feel like if you work at a brewery that's been so long established, you kind of have a little bit more like, I'm old, screw it.
Yeah, but I doubt those are the guys that are working their Twitter account. But
No,
I don't
but-
know. Either way, I'm with you, man. I've always
Kind of
loved Pabst
tension.
Blue Ribbon. I've hated how like the hipsters kind of took it over and made the prices go up, but it used to be so cheap.
Yep.
It still is reasonable, very reasonable. A lot of places you'll see like PBR tall boys for like $2 at the bar or something. But
If you go to the right store, you can get it for like 99 cents, baby.
mm-hmm.
And that was my bread and butter in college.
Yeah, I always drink a PBR on 4th of July at least because it's yeah, it makes sense.
You absolutely have to. But I need to start throwing in just random ingredients like white chocolate or maybe like we talked about last week, that cucumber jalapeno goza.
Something, yeah. I mean, if it's something unique or whatever, I mainly just look for something I haven't had before. I like to try the new stuff, but once you find something you like, you throw it in. Why not? It's like you said, you got to fill out the 6-pack. You can't leave an empty hole. So
Exactly right.
we digress. Let's untap these beers because I know that there's more awesome beers awaiting. But man, is that so? The reason why he's drinking that triple and not I is because I've actually had that one before. I drank it we looked it up on Untapped December 4th, so about a month ago, a little over a month ago, right before going to see George Thorogood. Got a nice little buzz on with that 15. Is it, how much? What is it? 10%?
10%, 10.5%.
It's a good hearty beer. I gave it a 5. What's your reckon of the triple over there?
I mean, as we've talked about before, it's not necessarily my favorite style. What I like to do here is kind of give it categories. As far as packaging goes, it's getting a full 5 on that. As far as the contents in the can go, it's a solid 4. So overall, it's going to get a
4.5.
4.5.
Splitting the difference.
Splitting the difference.
All right, that's fair. That's definitely good beer. And you're saying you're not the IPA guy, but to me, doubles, especially triples, taste a lot different than your average IPA.
Triples definitely do. There's a smooth, like almost creaminess to this one, and it's not nearly as hoppy or as hot as you would expect with that ABV. So, it's definitely a really smooth beer, and a 4 is an incredibly solid score for the actual contents.
From you, yeah. Which, that being said, I do love IPAs. This one is a double dry hop. So it's not a double IPA, it's a double dry hop, which this is one of those Huck questions because I don't actually brew beer. I think that basically means that they dry hop it twice.
Yes.
I would assume. That makes sense. 7.1% everyday fog. I could probably drink this every day. I might be in a fog because it is a pretty hearty beer, but damn, it's very good. I mean, like, just everything about it. Taste. Sorry.
Out of all the labels, I was
This was
going
the one you
through,
were like the
that
best.
was the one I was like, oh man, that's just such a metal album cover.
It really is, man. Or like a horror movie. Like,
Yeah.
very horror movie-esque. Awesome cover. This one's probably getting a 5 across the board with the can label and the beer. Just damn good. So yeah, look out for these guys. I'm gonna have to keep an eye out for Abomination Brewing. I need to drink some more stuff from ABC. All right. On that note, let's step aside. Let's play a song or two, and let's drink some more beer. It's Brewsday Tuesday right here on 105.3 The Bear.